Going way back in the Old Testament. It's kind of strange. I keep a record of what I preach from in the Bible, and I find that I preach more from the Gospel of Luke than anywhere else in the Bible. And yet when I went to seminary, I specialized in Old Testament studies. That's kind of strange, isn't it? But we're in the Old Testament today. The book of 2 Kings. Very familiar passage perhaps to you. 2 Kings chapter 4. 2 Kings chapter 4. I'm reading from the New International Version. Well, you can follow with me if you will. 2 Kings chapter 4. The wife of a man from the company of prophets cried out to Elijah. Elisha is the prophet. Now, the prophet Elijah and Elisha, both prophets, had what was called the school of prophets. They had a group of men that they trained to be preachers, in essence. So this wife of one of those came to him. Your servant, my husband, is dead. And you know that he revered the Lord, but now his creditor is coming to take my 2 boys as his slaves. Elisha replied to her, how can I help you? Tell me, what do you have in your house? Your servant, meaning herself, your servant has nothing at all, except a little oil. Elisha said, go. Go around and ask all your neighbors for empty jars. Don't ask for just a few. Then go inside, shut the door behind you and your sons. Pour oil into all the jars. And as each is filled, put it aside. She left him afterward, shut the door behind her and her sons. They brought the jars to her, and she kept pouring, pouring, pouring. When all the jars were filled, she said to her son, bring me another one. But he replied, there's not a jar left. Then the oil stopped flowing. She went and told the man of God, and he said, go, sell the oil, pay your debts, you and your sons can live on whatever is left. You ever get to thinking that nobody cares about you? Can I promise you that someone will always care for you? You don't believe it? Well, why don't you just miss a couple truck payments? Miss a couple car payments. Trust me, you'll get calls, you'll get letters, you may even have someone come to your house. Somebody will care for you. Debt is a terrible thing. You know, I figured out how I could live the rest of my life, the next 20, 30 years I have left. I figured it out. if I could just get repaid for all the postage money that I sent Publishers Clearinghouse on those cards that I never got anything. If I could just get the postage back, I could live very well. Thank you, Judy. We all know what it is to have hard times. We know what it is to do without. We know what it is to be down to our last jar of oil. That's where she was. Preachers like these 3 points. Well, we got 3 points here, easy. She had death, she was destitute, and she was desperate. D. Her husband had served the Lord. He had been one of the prophets. He had been in the school of prophets. He had revered the Lord. He had been a good servant. But it doesn't matter how good a servant you are of the Lord, you're going to go the way of all flesh. He died. Back to life. He died. And death was crushing this woman. She didn't know what to do. She had 2 sons. We don't know her name. We don't know anything about her. We don't know her age. We don't know the age of these boys, except they could come and go. They could walk. We know that. And they could have been made into slaves. That was allowed in that culture and in that time of the Old Testament. She could have lost them altogether. So she goes to the preacher. You go to the preacher with a problem. You hope he has an answer. Here's what Elisha told her. Number 1, take stock of your provisions. Look at what you've got. Do you have any oil? Probably olive oil. It was used to mix with grains to make food. It was used to light in the house. It was used for heating. It was used for anointing. It was very expensive. Take stock of what you've got. And she says, I'm down to the very last jar. Got nothing left. So exercise some faith in your requests. Go to your neighbors. On the right, on the left, a couple houses down, a few houses up. Where did she go? Did she go to 3 houses? Did she go to 5 houses? Did she go to 10, 12? The more she went and asked for help, the more she would have. She was borrowing empty jars. Well, you just make sure you bring that jar back when you're done. Can you just hear that? I don't know what you're going to put in that jar, but make sure you wash it and clean it. What do you want with an empty jar? You're broke. You got nothing. She's gathering the empty jars. Gathering the empty jars. Foolish to us. Foolish to other people. But this is what God, through the prophet, told her to do. Get ready for the blessing that I'm going to give. Exercise some faith along with your requests. Paul says in the book of Romans, it's faith alone. James says in the book of James, you got to have works. What Elisha is saying to her is you've got to have both faith and works. You've got to believe that God will do it, but you cooperate with Him and make it happen. You have trouble, you have problems, get up off your haunches and help make it happen. Go gather some jars. Do something. Don't just sit there, moan and groan and grumble and mumble, but do something. And God will come through for you. A private exercise of faith. And so she pours it in these pours it in. Just like we read in the response of reason. Jesus could take a little fish, he could take a few loaves of bread, and I don't know how he does it, but he multiplies. What little you have to give, what little you have in your possession, what little you have left, he can multiply and make it last and make it real. So she's sitting at home, all these jars around her. 2, 3, 16, 20, I don't know how many. But she's pouring. Have you gathered your resources? Have you asked God to do something for you? And are you in faith pouring out what you've got? And he keeps giving you more because you depend on God for all of the abundance. And God's blessings will be greater than all that you can dream, all that you can imagine. He will give for you. We all can think back in our lives of some times when we were at the very wit's end. We didn't know what we were going to do. It looked like life was going to cave in. And then somehow, some way, you got up and cooperated with God and made things happen. And he's blessed you and blessed you again and again and again. When you've gone everywhere else, have you ever considered going to the Lord in prayer? Where could I go but to the Lord?